What's up, YouTube? What's up? This one gonna be the second one about unquestionable NFL MVPs. This one's gonna take you back to 1982, strike short year, when Mark Mosley of the Washington, formerly Redskins, now known as Commanders team, was the NFL MVP over Dan Fouts. Mosley was bad, but you gotta really be something dynamic for a field goal place kicker to win MVP. That's a bit much. And at the time, I didn't really think about it because, it made the NFL look kind of progressive because they weren't notorious for giving, running backs, quarterbacks, receivers had never gotten it. But I ain't thinking about it with the kicker. But he got it over Dan Fouts. When I think about that in hindsight, that's kind of crazy. Because Eric Coryell with the Chargers were a crazy offense. Dan Fouts is one of those guys that what you take for granted today because everybody throws for 4,000 plus yards now. But at that time, the way Fouts was throwing that ball back then, the way the Chargers played offense in the early 80s, it was nothing like what you see today. And especially didn't have the kind of pro offensive protection. So the fact that Fouts could get all that out there, you know, and make it work with his receivers and everything was just amazing. The Chargers were a fun, incredible team to watch. It's just that they couldn't play in the cold. They didn't play much defense, and it was always something that got in the way. But you can't say Dan Fouts didn't bring the goods. So you got to kind of wonder, how come a quarterback didn't get MVP? And also, the interesting thing about this one is that this hurt Dan Fouts when we have discussions about some of the greatest quarterbacks ever that never won a Super Bowl? Where does he rank? Because he gets kind of forgotten now. I mean, everybody knows about, Charlie Joyner, who played forever, West Chandler, and of course John Jefferson. And Kellen Winslow Sr. was one of the premier tight ends. But they got kind of found and forgotten. Dan or Eric Coryell, because the San Diego Chargers had their own theme song. They just, so this is quite interesting when we get into this one. This is kind of a real oddball one, too, because, again, it's kind of hard to explain that a kicker beat out a quarterback, especially in an offensive dominated league, which the NFL has always been. That is pretty rare. And I don't recall Mark Mosley doing anything in particularly that was that more memorable. They won a lot of games, but that's almost like a diss track to Dan Fouts. I mean, if you think about it, because, I've seen kickers who've had, I'm trying to think. When New England broke all them ruckus, Adam Vinatieri, I don't think he was canceling out Tom Brady and Randy Moss. Just saying. So, it was Stephen Gronkowski, because it was Stephen Gronkowski at the time. Wasn't counted out. So, how do you justify this one? This is a bit different. But anyway, it got me thinking, because when I look at some of the MVPs, some of this stuff's a little bit like, head scratching. And this was one of those ones that kind of got me like, But tell me what you think, though. What you think about Mark Mosley winning the MVP over Dan Fouts? And did you think he deserved it, or you question it even to this day? Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit that membership, because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay tuned. We got more of these coming. I'm out. Peace.